It's the first question from the review. We need to find absolute max and minimum of the function, which is given as negative x squared plus 4x plus 12 on this given interval from 0 to 5. So the step 1 for this question is to find the derivative of the function. What is the derivative? Using power rule, negative 2x plus 4. That's step 1. Okay. Step 2 is to find the critical points. How do you find critical points? Critical points are either where f prime x is 0 or f prime x does not exist. Okay. For this one, this is a polynomial. Polynomials exist everywhere. So does not exist really doesn't need to be investigated. So only need to investigate is negative 2x plus 4 equal to 0, which is the derivative equal to 0. Let's solve this equation. That means 2x is equal to 4, x is equal to 2. At this point, the derivative is 0. That means this is our critical point. We do need to make sure to check if this point is in the interval 0 to 5, which it is. From 0 to 5, 2 is there, right? So that condition is checked. So what do we need to do now? That the next point is to check the value of the function at what points? At the end points. What are the end points? End points are 0 and 5. So we need to find the function's value at end points and also at the critical point, which is in your interval. Okay. So we need to find function's value at these 3 points. End points, the first and the last one are endpoints, and also what is this? The critical point. Okay, so how do you find the function's value? Function's value basically is f of 0. So f of 0, you can calculate it on the side. F of 0, where do you get f of 0 from? By putting in the function 0 plus 0 plus 12. So f of 0 is 12. F of 2, that's negative 2 square plus 4 times 2 plus 12, basically negative 4 plus 8 plus 12, that is gonna be 16. F of 5, which is negative 5 square plus 4 times 5 plus 12, that's gonna be negative 25 plus 20 plus 12, that's gonna be 7. Now, once you have these values, you need to figure out which one is absolute maximum. Out of these three, which one is the maximum? 16. So we're going to say as an answer, f has absolute maximum at x is equal to 2. Absolute maximum value of, okay, we can write it like this also. Maximum value of 16 at x is equal to 2. That's the first answer, finding absolute maximum. Now, where is the minimum? Minimum value is at 7. So we're going to write f has absolute minimum value of 7 at x is equal to 5. At x is equal to 5, it's the minimum value. So this one is absolute minimum, and this one is not 12. 16 is absolute maximum. Here is the second part of the question. We again need to find the absolute max and minimum. The function is now x to the power 2/3 times x squared minus 4 on this given interval. As we remember, step 1 is to find the derivative. In this case, this is product of two functions. So we're going to apply product rule to find the derivative. How are we going to find the product rule? The derivative of the first function. What's the derivative of the first function? Using power rule, 2/3 times x to the power 2/3 minus 1 is negative 1/3 times the second function as is plus the first function as is times the derivative of the second function. That would be just 2x. Okay. This can be written as 2 by 3 x to the power 1/3 because power was negative times x square minus 4 plus x to the power 2/3, this was 2/3, times 2x. Now, before even we move forward, we can make it one fraction. It's a sum of two fractions, so we can make common denominator. Common denominator would be 3 times x to the power 1/3. This will not be needed to multiply with anything because it has 3 times x to the power 1/3 within denominator. We multiply this, we get 2x squared minus 8. But when you want to make the common denominator, this will have to be multiplied with 3 times x to the power 1/3. So 3 times 2 is 6, x 2/3 times x 1/3. Now you guys notice we have to multiply these three terms. All of them are same base x, but the powers have to be added. So this is going to be 2x squared minus 8 plus 6 times 2/3 plus 1/3 is 2 divided by 3 to the power x 1/3, which is going to be, this is 6. 2x squared plus 6x squared is 8x squared minus 8 by 3x 1/3. So this is your derivative. What did we find here? This is our derivative. Step 2 is to find critical points. Critical points are where f prime x is 0 or f prime x does not exist. What kind of function is f prime? This is a rational function, a fraction basically, right? F prime x will be 0 if the numerator equal to 0. So f prime x will be 0 if the numerator, which is 8x squared minus 8 equals 0. Or f prime x does not exist if the denominator becomes 0. Denominator will become 0 if x 1/3 is 0. Let's solve these. This here factoring, we can write it like this. It can be further factored into this. And from here, we will get x equal to 0. And these two factors give x either 1 or -1, and we found 0. These are my critical points. Critical points. Okay. You need to check if they belong to the interval which is given, -1 and 2. -1 is in the interval, 0 is in the interval, and 1 is also in the interval. All 3 points are in the interval. So we are good with all 3 of them. That's the check. Step 3. Step 3 is to find the function's values at endpoints. What are the endpoints? -1 and 2. And also the critical points. The critical points are 1, 0, and -1, which are already written, so we don't have to write it again, right? We need to find function's value at these points. Function is your given function. When I put -1 in there, so that will be -1 power 2/3 times x -1 square -1 square minus 4. Okay. -1 power 2/3 is negative. -1 square is 1 minus 4. Basically 3. Okay. When I put 1 in there, then we'll have 1 power 2/3, 1 square minus 4. That's going to be -3. When I put 0 in there, 0 times anything has to be just 0. When I put 2 in there, 2 power 2/3 times 2 square minus 4. That's going to be 0 because 2 square 4 minus 4 is 0. Okay. So once we have functions values, we need to find which one of these is maximum. 3, negative 3. Okay, wait. Here, this one, first one is actually negative 3, okay? Because negative 1 power 2 is positive. So this is positive time 1 minus 4 is negative 3. Now, out of these, we need to see, here we have repeated values. Negative 3 is the minimum value for both of them. So absolute minimum occurs at negative 1 and 1. So we're going to say f has absolute minimum value of negative 3 at x is equal to negative 1 and 1. Which one is the maximum? 0, which is occurring at 2 points. So you're going to say f has absolute maximum value of 0 at x is equal to 0 and 2. Now I want to point out that we said that there is only absolute maximum value 1, but here sometimes students get confused that why 2 answers are coming. The absolute maximum value is unique. That is only 0. That is not multiple. It's just occurring at 2 different locations. So that shouldn't be confusing. Okay.